This is slide 5, yet more New Deal, as we continue our discussion of Franklin Roosevelt's program to get us out of the Great Depression. We will start with a program called the WPA, which stands for Works Progress Administration. The Works Progress Administration. Roosevelt realized that in the middle of all these depressing times, it's the name Great Depression, it wasn't just an economic depression, it was very depressing. In the middle of all these depressing times, people still needed distractions. They needed things to do to get their mind off of the unemployment, the problems, and all this and that. They needed entertainment. So he launched the Works Progress Administration to put people to work building theaters, radio stations, museums, libraries, to help further the work of artists. Right? So these would build entertainment places. And then part of the WPA was the Federal Arts Program. The Federal Arts Program. I know it doesn't say program on your slide there, but it should. Federal Arts Program. This would employ the artists, the musicians, the writers, the actors, the playwrights, and so forth, to work in the theaters and radio stations and libraries and musicians that the WPA built. So, really, without the Federal Arts Program, the Works Progress Administration would not have done much good. And without the Works Progress Administration, the Federal Arts Program would not have done much good. So these two kind of go hand in hand, creating entertainment for people. The second topic here, and really it's a very short slide here, only two topics. The second topic deals with women and their role. Remember, one of Eleanor's main jobs was championing minorities, and that included women. Most of the work that gets done by Franklin Roosevelt on behalf of women is because of Eleanor Roosevelt. And we're going to mention 4 women here in particular that you're going to need to know. The first one is a woman named Frances Perkins. Frances Perkins. She was named the Secretary of Labor. Secretary of Labor. So she becomes the first female cabinet member in U.S. history. And if you look at this picture of the signing of the Social Security Act, there is Frances Perkins present at the signing of Social Security. Perkins will become the first female cabinet member in United States history when Roosevelt names her Secretary of Labor. And remember, Secretary of Labor works on behalf of the workers of the country. The next one is a woman named Mary McLeod Bethune. Mary McLeod Bethune. She was named the director of the Office of Minority Affairs. The Office of Minority Affairs. She would become the highest ranking African American in Roosevelt's administration. So not only is she female, she's black. So the highest ranking black woman in Roosevelt's administration ever. The director of the Office of Minority Affairs, Mary McLeod Bethune. And lastly, we have 2 women, Ruth Benedict and Margaret Mead, who popularized a new field of study that would become very popular in colleges and universities called cultural anthropology. Cultural anthropology. They studied cultures around the world and discovered that not all cultures are the same. And basically, they determined that how you end up the way you do is greatly dependent upon the culture that you live in, because they studied South Pacific Island cultures and realized that people are very different there. Not all people are the same. People are different, based on how they grow up. And each culture has its own distinct personality. So, cultural anthropology, very popular field of study, still around even today. The study of how cultures affect people and how they develop, due to Ruth Benedict and Margaret Mead. Mainly Margaret Mead, the more well-known of the two. So anyway, very short slide. That's it for the New Deal for right now. More to come later.